Namaste Javins, myself JV and Dr. Barkha Khurana. Today in physiology we'll be discussing about blood pressure. You all must have heard about blood pressure, that what it is. There is increase in BP, decrease in BP, sometimes leading to hemorrhage also. So let's start with it. First is your arterial blood pressure. It can be defined as a lateral pressure exerted by the moving column of blood on the walls of the arteries. So here you can see the blood is moving and it is exerting pressure on the walls of this artery. So the lateral pressure, that is a side-by-side pressure, is your blood pressure. These are the layers of arteries: tunica interna, tunica media and tunica externa. This is the capillary, which is a network between vein and artery. Now, what is the significance? If you talk about significance, it ensures the blood flow to various organs. It plays an important role in exchange of nutrients and gases across the capillaries. It is required to form urine, and it is also required for the formation of the lymph. Here in this picture, you can see the force on arteries causing damage if the pressure is very high. This is the systole BP. This is the diastole BP. Now the normal adult range can fluctuate also, though we take it as 120 by 80 mm of Hg. We take Hg and not water and any other fluid because Hg or mercury remains constant in every weather conditions. So, but the systolic by diastolic BP can fluctuate within 100 by 60 to 140 by 80. Now we'll talk about systolic BP. It is defined as the maximum BP in the arteries attainable during systole, which is contraction. Normal is 120 plus minus 20 mm of Hg, and it is mainly contributed by force of heartbeat, normal blood volume, cardiac output. The normal range of cardiac output is 90 to 140 mm of Hg. Now we'll talk about diastolic BP. It is defined as the minimum pressure that is obtained at the end of ventricular diastole. The normal range is 62 mm of Hg. This DBP or diastolic BP represents a constant load on the arterial walls with little or no fluctuation at all. Then is the pulse pressure, which denotes the difference between systolic and diastolic BP. Now is the mean arterial pressure, which is diastolic BP plus 1/3 of pulse pressure, and the normal value is 95 mm of Hg. Now we'll talk about physiological variation in blood pressure according to age, build, climate, diurnal variations, exercise, fever, high altitude, pain, posture, etc. Now if you want to record BP, there are two methods, direct and indirect. In indirect methods, we have palpatory and auscultatory methods. See here in this diagram, you can see how the cuff is tied, how the pressure is increased and how it is decreased, and the sounds are audible in stethoscope and the BP is recorded. Sphygmomanometer is the measurement device. Nowadays we are getting mechanical devices also. We have the old obsolete methods also of using a mercury sphygmometer. So this is the technique how we measure the BP. The patient should be relaxed and the arm should be supported. No tight closing should be there. The cuff must be at the level of heart, and diaphragm of the stethoscope is placed over brachial artery. The column, here you can see the mercury stand, it should be erect or vertical. Then we inflate the cuff to occlude the pulse, and then we start deflating it and measure the systolic and diastolic BP. Then is the auscultatory method, which was introduced by Russian physician Korotkov. Here we just listen to the tapping sounds, and these are classified as Korotkov sounds. Now there are factors which maintain blood pressure like cardiac output, circulating blood volume, elasticity of the vessel wall, and viscosity of the blood. The viscosity or the thickness is affected by cell count, plasma proteins, chemical composition like CO2, O2, temperature, the few drugs like general anesthetics. All these factors, they affect the peripheral resistance. Now, what exactly peripheral resistance is? It is defined as a resistance offered to the flow of blood by the blood vessels. Now, there are many factors that affect the blood pressure like disease, age, hereditary, blood volume, weight, diet, hormones, salt, caffeine, psychological factors like stress and anxiety, alcohol, and time of the day. So BP is equal to cardiac output and peripheral into peripheral resistance. And the normal value of PR in a normal healthy young adult is 20 mmHg per liter per meter. Now there are three mechanisms for regulation of arterial BP: immediate, short term and long term. Immediate are the neural mechanisms which are controlled by baroreceptor reflexes, chemoreceptor reflexes and cerebral ischemic response. See, here is the flow chart describing everything, how it is regulated. Baroreceptor reflex, decreased PR, decreased myocardial contractility, decreased heart rate. Decrease in heart rate is known as bradycardia, whereas the increase in heart rate is called as tachycardia. Chemoreceptor reflexes, when there is fall in BP, it leads to hypoxia. Hypoxia is a decreased oxygen supply. Then the chemoreceptors are activated, and so this whole cycle goes on. Now we'll talk about hypertension, which is defined as an elevation of systolic BP. 30% of people over 50 are hypertensive. Some medications or trauma can be a reason. And these are the diseases attributable to hypertension, like heart failure can occur, stroke can occur, cerebral hemorrhage can occur, chronic kidney failure, retinopathy, aortic aneurysm, myocardial infarction, and others. The predisposing factors for hypertension are obesity, hereditary, alcoholism, stress, smoking, and sedentary life. Next is secondary hypertension, like they are related to some other diseases. Other diseases may be the cause for hypertension, like glomerulonephritis, nephrotic syndrome, which are the disorders or diseases of kidney. Then endocrinal could be there, like Cushing syndrome. Then vascular are there, atherosclerosis or arteriosclerosis. Now, if we come to the treatment of hypertension, we need to modify the lifestyle, like smoking should be quit, alcohol intake should be minimized, weight reduction, programmed exercise, decrease in sodium intake, diet high in potassium should be taken, yoga, etc. should be incorporated in lifestyle, and other drugs also. Prevention is by eat a healthy, well-balanced diet, reduce salt and fat intake, exercise regularly, stop smoking, reduce weight, reduce alcohol and caffeine consumption. Now the other condition is hypotension, that is decrease in the blood pressure when the systolic BP is less than 100 mm of Hg. This is fatal. Hemorrhage, dehydration, vomiting, diarrhea, excessive sweating are the reasons. Hypothyroidism. We need to treat the cause. We can go for blood transfusion, IV fluids and vasoconstrictors. So this is all in this session. I hope you understood this session well, and if you have any doubts, you can post it in the comment box. This session is part digitally by Digital 2.0 version of Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women University. Thank you.